And the last question is from my guy Grayson. How do I become a good shot creator or post scorer in 2K25? Stay locked in the channel. I'm gonna get you right. I swear. And welcome back, and in this video, I answer your questions about my time playing NBA 2K25 early in NBA 2K Community Day. Once again, big shout out to NBA 2K for flying me out to test the game early. Alright, first up we have J Marvelous, who basically asks how signature dribble sequences are activated in the game, and does the new dribble system feel more responsive? I'll start with the last question first, and basically yes, the dribble system in NBA 2K25 is a significantly improved version of what we've had ever before. So it's way more fluid, way more responsive, the animations tie well to each other. There are exceptions. For example, your signature size-ups. These were captured using mocap under a different dribble engine. If you miss the correct input out of a combo sequence for signature size-ups, you will still get those stiff and janky animations if you mistime the combo. But for most of the other animations, it feels really smooth. So I think what J Marvelous is asking here, so basically what I think J Marvelous is asking in the first part of his question is how to activate signature dribble sequences. So I think there are a few. One, your dribble style will matter. So I've noticed even just for example for LeBron, just a simple crossover at a specific part of the court will give him his own signature dribble. Hezzy size-up launch, for example. These are also tied to your signature moves such as your regular breakdown dribbles and aggressive breakdown dribbles. Again, these are done by taps on the right stick while holding R2 and while not holding R2. But also you have your signature go-to shots which start with a dribble sequence and then ends up with a signature shot. So those animations, I think the newer additions in terms of the moves, those feel more fluid and those connect well with each other. So if you combine your dribble engine with your go-to shot, shot canceling, and your different dribble combos, I think the best results I've gotten, and what you're seeing right here is Steph Curry dribble moves. The best results I've gotten are guys that have updated ProPLAY animations across the board, specifically in those three moves: your combo moves, your breakdown dribbles, and your go-to shots. If you mix things up that way by basically canceling out of your different shots, you'll get a lot of sick signature dribble combos. So the dribble system feels more responsive. I think it's better than ever. It's gonna take a lot of figuring out on your part, but that's why you have to get in the lab, baby. There were a lot of questions regarding go-to shots, so there were too many to mention, so I'll just try to answer a few of the big highlights here. So again, go-to shots are activated by holding up on the right stick. It will give you this dribble sequence, and once that signature dribble sequence is done, you'll see a shot meter pop up if you have it on. From there, just time it the usual way you would time a shot using the right stick, release it when it hits the shot meter. That's simple. Now there are a couple of questions here. First, are you limited to using right stick up for your signature go-to shot? I honestly did not test this, but I'm gonna guess yes. There is a question on the amount of go-to shots, focusing on Luka for example, and go-to shots in general. So there are players with a lot of go-to shots. I think Steph Curry is one of them, and honestly I can't remember which of these go-to shots are. I remember that they're affected mostly by whether you're starting your go-to shot with your left hand or your right hand. These are for guys with a lot of go-to shots. De'Aaron Fox is another example of a guy that has a unique go-to shot out of a triple threat position, and then he has his different go-to shots. So there's a lot of variance, and there was a question on whether go-to shots are available through layups. I've tried doing this. I haven't had luck, but my guess is the answer to this is yes. So if you remember the gameplay trailer, Steph Curry had that weird wraparound into a flick layup. I think that's a go-to shot. How to activate it? I was trying to just go to the lane, let go of the left stick and hold up on the right stick. I think it's going to be tricky with how you activate this. It's going to be contextual, but I'm pretty sure it can also be done by using layups. I just wasn't able to figure it out. There was another question on go-to shots on whether they replace step back jumpers, and they don't. So for example, if you're starting to equip different animations for your My Career guy, basically you'll have your hop jumpers, your spin jumpers, your dribble pull-ups, and your go-to shots. And this is something that I wanted to talk about, and I'm glad somebody asked. Is the AI much better on offense in NBA 2K25? And my answer is a definitive yes. So there's this clip where De'Aaron Fox gets me with his go-to shot, and my word, I don't think I've ever been beat this badly, either by the computer or a human user, and I'm not even exaggerating. This stunned me, as in De'Aaron Fox gave me that float hezzy, and I was prepared for him to blow past me out of that animation, but no, he basically stepped back, hit me with a pull-up 3, and I was stunned. And the effectiveness of the AI goes beyond to one-on-one individual moves. The AI is a nasty dude. When it finds a mismatch, it will punish you with that mismatch. Pick and roll offense and different reads, you betcha. Running off ball plays, he absolutely does it. So the AI offense this year is much more diverse. That's not to say it's not perfect. I saw some instances where I was pressing up on Luka and Luka would pull up randomly even though his feet was not set, and obviously it takes you out of the immersion. There's something there with tendencies that can be fixed, but for example, Luka will just hoist a number of long pull-up threes even though you're out of position. We got a question here from 7 True Life and my brother Irv Gotti. How does the shot contest system feel basically? And all I can say is that I've been able to green tough shots on Hall of Fame difficulty and of course downwards. It felt fair. The changes to the contest system felt a logical step from what it was in 2K24, which could still give you ghost contests. So here, one way I tested this was out the post fade. So what you're seeing here, for example, is Jason Tatum hitting a contested post fade. What you're also seeing here is on Hall of Fame, for example, Jalen Brunson creating his shot and hitting these contested step back jumpers, but also a greenable physical body up layup. So for me, the contest system feels fair, a lot better than what it was in NBA 2K24. And a big example of that are these hand down, man down sequences where because the defense is gapping me on multiple occasions, I'm able to just rise up, and because he wasn't there on time, I was able to hit these pretty consistently. The second part of the question on whether the AI defense was a bit more realistic, I will say that on higher difficulties, they can really clamp you up. So what you're seeing here, for example, is Jalen Suggs being a hell of a defender on Hall of Fame. That said, it felt a little bit more natural compared to 2K24, where they would basically just hug you and you had pretty much nowhere to go unless you knew how to manipulate the AI. In the game, it felt a little bit more fair, but I will say that it felt a little bit more fair and I think appropriate in Superstar. So I do know that there is a perception delay slider for the AI so that it will be more responsive to a lot of your basketball moves. But overall, I thought it felt more fair compared to 2K24. Here, JG for the GOAT, his question on how tough rhythm shooting is. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of people will tell you that these were really tough. Again, we are in a community day setting where we have limited time to capture footage. I wanted to try it out just a little bit to see how easy it was. And after a few minutes in freestyle, you'll probably get the hang of it. But in-game is a different situation. Of course, now you're paying attention to a situation where there are stakes and it gets difficult. I did not hit a rhythm shot in any of my playtests, whether it was on All-Star, Superstar, and especially on Hall of Fame difficulty. It's pretty difficult. For my career, guys, I think that this is something worth investing in. Pretty difficult. I didn't invest too much time on it because I wanted to get some gameplay footage, but I will try to invest some time on it once the full game launches. Next, there were a lot of questions on signature animations, one of which was for Jalen Brunson, a couple of which for Paolo Banchero, and then another on signature layups and dunk animations. So first, Jalen Brunson gets partial ProPLay implementation, and Paolo Banchero, I'm sure, gets a lot of signature animations. I unfortunately wasn't able to test this out, but here's a short clip of Banchero, CPU Banchero with his own finishing animation. Now, there was a question here from my guy, Toby Soprano, who asked, basically, how was ProPLay implementation and whether there were guys who needed to have ProPLay but didn't necessarily have ProPLay that I felt were a missed opportunity. And yeah, the answer is Jalen Brunson. I think Brunson has partial implementation. Of course, his jump shot, his pull-up jumper is there. His step-back jumper moving to his right. His offhand is pretty good. I'm trying to see if this post shimmy is a Jalen Brunson pro play animation. I'm not quite sure, but it looked pretty good to me. But Jalen Brunson still has those Zach LaVine combo moves. I'm not sure if the signature animation, the signature dribble size up is his or his dribble style, but it is different from what it was in NBA 2K24. And I think that's one thing about pro play. When it's good, you are gonna realize that pro play is the truth. But when guys do not have pro play, it's gonna be immediately apparent as to, hey, this guy doesn't necessarily play this way in real life, so that's just the trouble with it. And in terms of layup and dunk animations, yep, I think SGA and Tyrese Maxey are examples of guys who really got good layup animations. Now we're heading into the nerdy stuff, the things you guys really want to drill down on, and we have a question on foot planting and basically asking how did it feel. I will say that foot planting is tied to a lot of animations. So for example, you will see here Steph Curry pulling up on a dime, stopping quickly into that pull-up jumper. Ant-Man has his as well. A few guys with some pull-up jumpers also feel really good. But also the way you move around the court, your stops, your starts, your explosions, and how your deceleration, your foot planting into your acceleration really matters. And I think that's a huge improvement for 2K25. Next, we have a question on shooting fouls and basically asking if they were more frequent in 2K25. It definitely felt toned down in 2K25 to the point that, you know what, maybe they could dial that up a little bit more. I had a lot of aggressive closeouts that I felt could have been fouls but were not called. But let's see in the final build if that's the case. And this guy right here is my kind of guy. Just basically 2 words, screen navigation. And I felt that screen navigation in 2K25 felt pretty good. I mean, so there's a technique in screen navigation in 2K. You basically shouldn't be hugging your defender or holding L2 and R2. So if you navigate movement around the left stick, as you can see right here, I'm sliding through screens and it's easier. It wasn't as overpowered in 2K24, I would say. I mean, screens in general. If you know how to slip past screens, you'll do pretty well, especially if you have the right badges. And one thing I will say, however, is that there's still the problem of late screens being called. You can see here DeMar DeRozan basically giving Fred VanVleet a late screen. Should be an offensive foul, but it wasn't called. This might be a problem, so this is something that we have to look at. All right, there was a question on Mini Marksman and what the height difference needed to be. I can't find my footage, but I remember using, I'm not sure if it was, I think I remember using De'Aaron Fox going up against Fred VanVleet, and I do remember it popping up. So for example, Mismatch Expert in 2K22 or 23, I think needed a 4-inch height differential. I'm not sure if it's that, if that minimum, no, I'm pretty sure that minimum isn't needed, but I'm not sure if it activates regardless of the height of the defender. Next, we have a couple of questions on whether certain moves and animations feel good. Starting first with layups, and basically the question is whether you should turn layup timing on for 2K25, and hell yes, I've turned it on in 2K24. It even turned the visual feedback on the shot meter off, and I never look back. Once you get the hang of timing that thing, you can finish through a lot of crazy layups. Turn shot timing on for layups and turn the layup meter off. We got a question on up and unders, and do they feel better than in 2K24? I would say that it felt pretty much the same. Maybe some animations tied well with each other, but I was using Domas here in Freestyle and these look pretty smooth, but I'm not sure if this is a function of ProPLay or more of an improvement to the system, so I'll have to test this out even more. But yeah, up and unders felt pretty good. And the last question is from my guy Grayson. How do I become a good shot creator or post scorer in 2K25? Stay locked in the channel. I'm gonna get you right. I swear. So there you have it. Your questions answered in NBA 2K25. Once again, this wouldn't be possible if you guys did not support me the way you have, and the support through my latest videos has been absolutely incredible, and I have you guys to thank. I hope this video was helpful. I hope it answers a lot of your questions. 2K Day is just a few days away, You know what that means? It's Kevin Cruz season, aka tutorial season, aka Chef Cruz season, aka the sauce will be built. So once again, I appreciate you guys and thank you to 2K for inviting me to Community Day. You guys can still expect the same level of honesty and same dedication to give you guys the best sauce, the best discussion, the most extensive discussion, the most nuanced discussion, because that's what you guys can expect from me. So hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.